Nice to meet you.
Bro, it's good to see you
I
again.
appreciate you for doing this.
I appreciate you for having me out.
Yeah, man. I've been trying to reconnect, just trying to hang out with the space again. Um, yeah, but man, it's been a crazy year.
Yeah,
It's just been like what's it called? 2025 has just been kind of like chaotic. Trying to figure out life, trying to get settled. Trying to get comfortable. But so that's been my 2025. What's your year starting like? What has been like? Because we're halfway in, by the way.
yeah, we are. I just thought about that actually today during work.
Ah,
My 2025, the start was pretty. It was pretty fast, bro. I feel like I came in pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie, especially talking about like DNA wise. Like the beginning of the year, I had. We can get like dive deeper in depth a little bit, but I put in an order for like six, almost nine samples
damn.
to get done in the beginning of the year. So I feel like I came in hot, and then after that I slowed down a bit, and I'm just starting to like pick up
Once
some
again.
momentum again.
Nah, that's good to hear, man. Cause 2025 for me, man. I'm just gonna
We gotta give him a
fix this
second,
real
bro. We gotta
quick.
give him a second.
But yeah, one of the things about 2025 is like there's even a point 2024 where I thought, you know what, let me kind of go solo and do my own thing, do my own ideas, projects, like see what I gotta do. Some of them require like talking to the city and to like different departments, things like that. But uh, yeah, it's just been a slow start. So I kind of just start with the basics, and just like you said, like those nine samples, like I feel a little bit better because I've been kind of progressing
Uh huh.
in those ideas, but anyway, so it's been like trying to just get that out,
Yeah.
trying to get that
Yeah.
out there.
No. I know exactly what you're talking about, bro. Know exactly what you're talking about.
So 2025 was like you were turning the gears basically.
No. Yes. Definitely. Just because I mean, you have questions for me, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta listen. We'll dive into them, but I've been doing this like DNA stuff for close to like 7 years now.
Damn.
I want to say like six to 7 years, and I haven't put out a single thing. Everything that somebody has sitting in their closet or that is wearing outside that's DNA has been personally like gifted to them
Yeah.
by me. I feel like all the pieces that I've created in the past, I've literally like handed them out to people who came to like my photo shoots, video shoots, but I haven't put out a single product, you know, online. So I think 2025, one of my biggest goals was, to actually have my first showcase,
Okay.
and present my first, like, release my first product
And get like
because,
a Instagram shop.
yeah,
Yeah.
almost. I guess yeah, I mean, that comes with all like the business aspect, the marketing, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? But for me, it's just pulling out or putting out quality pieces that to me, like genuinely, that I would wear 5, 10 years from now,
Yeah. Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
could still look at and be like, oh no, this is fire. Like I can put pieces together with this, and that,
Yeah.
rather than being like, oh, this was just during a trend type of thing.
That's what. Yeah. That's what I used to do. Like a lot of the clothes that I had from at a young age, they were trendy and then they got outdated, kind of embarrassing to wear.
Yeah, bro, that's everybody, bro. Even yeah, I've noticed that like even no matter how like fashionable I guess you are, at one point you're indulging in a trend that's currently happening.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And some trends are good, some trends, you
Yeah,
feel
they
me,
die
should have
out.
never been created.
So like now I kind of don't go about it as like going to Levi's. I used to shop a lot at Levi's actually. And then I used to like just go to Macy's, see what's hot, or Urban Outfitters was such a big thing 2012,
Yeah.
2013. I used to go there and just I know it's going to come here, like a lot of the African tribal, type of things. Um but now I just whatever I see that I like, like this, I thrifted this.
I love the colors on this, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
And the reason why I got this was because it's a gray shirt, but they somehow made it work by adding
Yeah, that
like pink, green, blue. Just like you would never see someone. I don't know. It's just like
it's
it's
just
such a dark
it's yeah,
color,
it's a yeah,
the contrast.
it's a calm piece as far as like the gray goes, but the pop of color that's been added
Yeah,
to it
yeah,
really
yeah.
kind of just like gives it that extra, that kick.
And so I saw that. I said, "Yo, I wanna let me get this. Let me definitely cop this." And then obviously, pants, things like that. I just kind of get whatever I can afford, and whatever is like, I'm gonna keep on waiting for like a while. Um, but anyways, well, I never understood how or why you started DNA. I think I asked Eden, but no, I don't think he told me. He just told me that you started a brand. I found out maybe like a little bit after COVID when I started
Okay,
hanging out with Eden a little bit
okay,
more.
okay, perfect. All right, so I started DNA back in like early 2019,
Okay.
so right before like COVID. And I originally started it just because back in high school, and Eden, bro, Eden has a lot to do with this. Like, he's a really, really big influence on who I am creatively because
Yeah.
he's kind of like what who brought me up to the doormat for it.
Right.
So in high school, I was doing film photography. I took a class. It was like an extracurricular activity, and I absolutely loved it. So I would take pictures, and I was like, you know what, bro? Like,
Yeah.
what if I just made a book? What if I just made like a little photo book of the pictures that I've taken? And at that point, I was kind of in the transition of taking pictures of like landscapes. Um, what else, bro? It was like landscapes and like buildings and stuff like that. And I
Okay.
was like, you know what? I really want to do something that involves people, and I don't want to do something random. I do love fashion, and then I just kind of combined the two. So I was just like, all right, I want to make a book based on, like fashion,
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
fashion magazine. And at the time, no, not a lot of people know this, but at the time, DNA is actually just the first initial of my name plus two good friends at the time that I had started it with,
Okay.
right? So that's where like the D, the N, and the A came from. But I was just like, I want it to mean something more than just it's just all of our names like put
Yeah, yeah,
together.
yeah.
So I kind of just went for like DNA, like it's you
It's ingrained in you. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. It makes us who we are, like
This is your
um,
pattern.
biologically and creatively. Whenever you ask a creative person, bro, like what their passion is, what they love doing. Hold on, we're gonna let the plane pass. Whenever you talk to a creative about something that they're genuinely interested in, bro, or you ask them to describe themselves, what they're always gonna add is what they love doing, what they love to create. Whether it's talking to someone who owns brand, someone who does a magazine, someone who just literally just gets fitted just to go get coffee.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? And so I was like, you know what, this magazine should be a showcase of creative individuals in their element. And not only that, but stepping out of their element too, because at the big time with fashion, I was learning about stepping out of my comfort zone and
yeah. Okay.
trying, different patterns, different colors, meshing them
Yeah,
together.
yeah, yeah.
What really looked good on my personal like build and body. But yeah, bro, it all started off literally just to put out a fashion magazine and to kind of put San Diego on the map.
Yeah.
Every San Diego every creative from San Diego will tell you, you know, that everybody goes to Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because of that mindset of
Yeah,
being like,
yeah,
if you
yeah.
go to LA, you'll make it quicker. That's the
Yeah.
spot. But San Diego's got gems on top of
It's
gems
underrated
when
for
it comes
sure.
to creatives, bro. Like, and it's definitely been flourishing
Yeah.
in the past years. It's been growing. It's been getting a lot bigger. There's a lot of names that are starting to pop up in the scene. You know what I mean? But that's how DNA started, bro. It started with two good friends, um, and then eventually, it just ended up with me.
Cool. I'm gonna let this plane pass.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when you reached out to your friends about this project, what was their what
They
they react
they
with?
they
What was the
were
reaction?
they were excited. The two friends that I started it with were like my closest people, bro. And just because they're not here with me today doing what I'm doing doesn't mean that like we had like a like
Yeah, like a beef or
shady
something.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's all love to them. But they were excited, bro. Like they were like, this is something that's super super sick. They could each add their own little creative element to it and really
Right.
make it their own. But just throughout the years, especially during COVID, I found myself kind of learning that this project, was my baby,
Right.
and
Right.
nobody's gonna care for it and put as much effort into it
As much as you.
as much as me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I started to see after certain months and years and stuff. So I just had like sit down, had a conversation with them. I was like, look, like it's all love. Like I just want to know if this is something that y'all really want to pour your energy into,
Right.
or kind of just you know be a supporter.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's definitely projects that I've been part of where it's been myself putting that sort of the effort basically,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
I used to take it personally, or I used to feel maybe the best way to phrase it, I would get disappointed because I was like, man, I really wish there was like a team and hopefully we can get together. Like I have a page where I just kind of critique like fashion runway shows,
Uh-huh.
and I wanted to start that with a good friend of mine, and the whole goal wasn't really like to get famous or anything. It was just we just want to get invited to a show, like hopefully we just get that invite,
Yeah,
and
I
then
feel
we can
you.
just
I
go,
feel
and
you.
that's like that's the goal, but he got tied up with work, he got tied up with like trying to figure it out,
As one does, bro.
and a lot of people around me that that's what they're trying to do, trying to figure it out. So I had a part time, and I was able to kind of go in as whenever I wanted, kind of go get out call off as much as I wanted.
Yeah,
Would never abuse of it, but just always had that liberty to work on my own projects if I wanted to. And well, obviously they couldn't, right? They were
yeah,
stuck to like a 9 to 5. They had a strict schedule, and definitely tired. And another life event. So yeah, I was disappointed, man. I really wanted it because there's a part of me that knows I can't do everything myself, man.
no,
And
definitely,
and you
yes.
probably know how hard it is to have all that responsibility. Like you definitely need people. You definitely need a team. And obviously the hard part is like if you can't pay them, then it's like they have to
Yeah,
also be into that
yeah. It's
vision. You
got to
get
be
me?
something that that they can also believe in
Yeah.
and see something for themselves. And that's honestly, bro, like that's what DNA comes down to. Like I've always dreamed, like even since I first thought of the idea, I always dreamed and knew that it was going to be a collective of creative individuals.
Right.
And I wanted to essentially, like, my goal isn't to make like a buttload of money,
Right.
isn't to have
Right.
like my name and my face recognized.
Yeah.
It's honestly to build a big enough platform to where I can kind of give that to other creative individuals who have that same drive and passion
Right.
to
Right.
do what it is that they love to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of be like, yo, look, like we have this platform. We loved your work. We want you on the team, and whatever niche that they have creatively, like that's what they would bring
Right.
to DNA as a collective.
Yeah, I mean, in San Diego, one thing that you pointed out that was pretty interesting was San Diego is underrated because obviously we're big, but we're not that big enough. I mean, I think LA County, well, LA City is 3 million people. We're 1.3 million,
I didn't know
so
that.
that's
I
like
did not know that.
we're very much
This
like,
guy.
and you know what? We're the second most populated city in California. I
Okay.
would have expected San Francisco.
Me too.
I would have
That's what I
expected
was
maybe
thinking.
like somewhere around LA, like LA, of course, and then like maybe a city around there. But we're the second most popular. There's more people here after LA than anywhere else in California.
Damn.
And but I just even in my personal drives and creativeness, I don't see that same vibe that I see in LA. LA, the people that are even like coming up. People that are okay. He's gonna be the next one if he continues on
Yeah.
this good path.
Yeah.
But in San Diego, it's kind of like low key. You gotta be in the inner circle. We don't really have a lot of magazines. We have what like the Union Tribune and then San Diego Reader. That's about it.
I mean, there's probably so many like creatives that put out like magazines in San Diego. I know that there's one that's San Diego based, and I believe They're called Soft or Softly. It's one of those two.
Oh, okay.
But I remember I had followed them for like a while,
Yeah.
but bro, I know that it's people because I've been in certain spaces where I've seen magazines and whatever space I'm in, whether it be like the owner's space,
Yeah.
friend's house, I always end up finding someone being like, oh yeah, like they're based out in San Diego, and I'm just like, bro, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I feel like,
I just think San Diego's not that place for it yet,
yeah, yeah,
because one of the things that I found out that was kind of interesting was that you have the mainstream magazines, and they kind of put out what to do in San Diego, the popular things, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but up until 2021, I think 2022, I had never maybe I wasn't aware of it, but um like after 2020, Apple came and did their they displayed their iPhone at the Ratty show at Seaport,
Mm-hmm.
and then a little bit after 2022, Louis Vuitton came and they did their
I know a couple of people that actually went to that,
idea. Yeah, me too. Like I was
and I
looking at the
was
TikToks, I was like, what
I
the
wanted to
freak?
go. When I heard about it, I was just like, bro,
Yeah, definitely celebrities. I was there was a girl that she's like popping on TikTok. Uh, that's like her hobby,
mm-hmm.
and she has a great following. I met her at State, and so her and I clicked because well, she had a crush on me, but anyways, that's another point. But the whole point was that was that uh her and we were clicking on like fashion, and like
Uh-huh.
she was. I don't want to say anything that's like against her character. It's just that she's those people that they are into those high brands. You get me? So when
Okay.
I told her, oh, did you
You
know that
just
Louis
saying
Vuitton is
she's
coming?
into high fashion.
She's into high
There you
fashion,
go.
luxury fashion. So when I told her about it, because I was at that time I was reviewing I was following creative directors,
Uh-huh.
and they were posting their new show. So the creative director of Louis Vuitton for the women's wear, uh, Nicolas Gessekiere, something like that. Just out of nowhere, San Diego Salt Institute. That's where we went.
Yeah, yeah,
Remember?
yeah. I remember.
That's
I
where they had
remember.
their show, and
It's a great place to have a show.
I remember going to that show, and I was just like peeking, and I saw them like uh, practicing, how they were gonna go in
Okay.
order. But then I think I had to go to choir studies or something. Like it was on a Friday, and I knew I wasn't gonna get in, man. Maybe I should have stayed and kind of seen like the aftermath. I think I did have something to do, but anyway, so I left, man. But I said, damn, I was just kind of glad that I got the opportunity. There's definitely, I try to look the best presentable.
As
Definitely
one does.
a lot
Yes,
of
yes.
tinted windows, if you get what I mean.
Yeah,
Um,
of course.
so
My
but
neck's
that's
itchy.
probably the only thing I was like mainstream. You get me? That's
Yeah,
coming
yeah, yeah.
coming to San Diego on the fashion side, and
That's
so
yeah, that is true.
if we can get a fashion scene here would be dope. So that's why I find it impressive that you're starting. Yeah,
I appreciate that.
you keep on doing this, man,
I appreciate that, bro.
because
Cause
it's definitely a few out there, and I'm sure everyone that's here has probably thought, man, I need to go to LA so I can make it. I need to go to New York to make it. I need to
nah,
go.
that's right. I forgot about New York.
You
Can't
know,
believe
they
that.
they don't think of San Diego being the place they can flourish. So, and it is hard, but someone got to do it.
Yeah, and there's people doing it. Don't get it twisted. Hold on, plane. Nah, but there's definitely people who are putting in that work and
Yeah.
really building that creative scene. In San Diego. There's bro.
What it?
I'm even to this day like I'm finding new
Yeah.
creative scenes in San Diego that I never knew existed.
Yeah. What was that first conversation? Or I guess the better question would be, what made you decide to go to those people that you said, I want to start this. Let me hit those two people up.
They were some of my like closest friends, like ride or dies,
Yeah.
and one of them was just already like another creative as well, and I absolutely love like all the artwork she did,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the other guy was my homie, who I noticed I was just kind of like, I think that this would be a good opportunity to keep him from doing something stupid in the streets.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
saying? And kind of like, yeah, just kind of like give him that space to be like, you know what, bro? Like, let me put a camera in your hand. And honestly, if I'm being completely honest, some of the pictures that he took are some of my favorite pictures ever, like above mine, you
Okay.
know. And I would like compare the two, and I'd be like, damn, like I wish I took this picture, because I was just like, bro, he's just got this, like he's got a knack for it, just naturally, you know. And so yeah, bro. The first thought was just like these are two people that I love with like very close to my heart, and I was like, what better way than to start them as like the team
Yeah,
and
yeah,
really
yeah.
really have it be us three.
Nah, that's really dope because one of the things that I always have realized when you go talk to some of those people, you kind of think, are they gonna mess with it? But definitely when you have a circle like that, that you know they're already creatives, they're already in that realm where
Yeah.
they're not scared of jumping onto a new project and being creative with that. It's definitely the support I think you would want. You get me?
No, definitely.
And I think that's probably the biggest thing is any creative out there that's trying to do something. You do need the people that will see your vision, not mess up the quality of work that you're trying to do.
Yeah. Hey, whoever's watching, if you truly love to do something creatively and you're trying to be a part of DNA, please let me know. Because I would really love to start building this team. And I already do have a team, you know, but it's like,
Yeah.
homies that have their own thing going on
Right, right, right,
that I just say, like, they're part of DNA,
right.
you know.
They're freelancers.
Exactly, exactly.
They'll
So
pop
just
in.
shoot me your resume, you know, samples of your work, what
Yeah.
you've been working on. You know, maybe we can set up a date and time and talk about some ideas.
So that magazine at the beginning of of your process of making DNA, has it evolved from that point to now? What are some of the changes or
So,
improvements?
okay, so the magazine itself has gone through so many different versions, bro. Especially since like I started teaching myself like graphic design, like when COVID happened, and I still have those files that I first did. They're sitting on my hard drive. But I think one of the biggest things, bro, that has changed from then to now is the fact that I've kind of put a lot more focus on making clothes. You know, I've gone through so many different like ups and downs when it comes to like my photography, with fashion, the editing side of like InDesign for the magazine, you know what I'm
Oh shit,
saying?
yeah.
The graphic design, doing actual edits, making logos, whoop de whoop, all this
Yeah,
other
yeah, yeah.
stuff. But I
And you
think the
use
biggest change,
InDesign,
yeah, InDesign is what I did to create the magazine. You
and now
know,
you use Canva.
no, I
No,
get out of here. No,
I'm just
no,
kidding.
I'm sticking on InDesign. Absolutely love it. Get down to the nitty gritty. There's not a lot of stuff that like I do know about the program, but we learn along the way. But yeah, that's probably I'd say be the biggest thing is currently my I wouldn't say like sole focus, but like a lot of my attention and ideas are coming from a place of like making clothes.
And what has that? Because obviously I've seen some of the pieces,
Yeah.
and it's what's the gist of type of clothes that you want to make?
So it's gonna be honestly, it's gonna be based on like pieces I wish I had in my closet. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's right now a lot of like it's based on streetwear. So one of the tees that I'm wearing right now, DNA box tee because it's just a crop boxy
yeah,
tee.
yeah,
Hoodies, um, jeans, hockey jerseys. This is all stuff that I have like ready to go, but it's all over the place. I want to be able to tap into my love for streetwear, tap in for my love for like a little something maybe a little bit more complex and detail oriented.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, yeah. Just because I feel like currently my ideas are branching out into some more like subtle but bold statement pieces that a lot of people are gonna love.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. It's because when I saw some of the pieces you brought, I think the first time I saw something that you were wearing, was probably that Levi's jacket that you had on,
Ah,
and you had like the
yes,
white DNA on the back,
yes,
and it reminded me of Virgil Abloh's his like first thing of his first idea or of Pyrex, where he would just buy
yeah,
literally he'd go buy Ralph Lauren, whatever, right? And he would put his own he would put Pyrex basically, and that became a hit. So when I kind of saw that, that was, well, that's what I thought you were doing. I don't know if that was the point of it, but I just saw the similarities and I said, and I was shocked. I thought it was cool. I thought it was great. I said, wow, that's I can't believe someone that I know, is doing something like that. So I remember I told Eden, there's a video. Anyways, I'm not gonna say too much, but just that I thought it was a cool idea. I thought it was dope.
thank you, bro. Honestly, that whole idea just sprung from I was at my homie's crib, and I was originally trying to make like a sample T-shirt,
Yeah,
right? And I had my jean jacket at the time. It's probably one of my favorite jean jackets. I love the wash, love the fit of it,
yeah.
and I was just like, you know what? I was like, I have this jean jacket. I was like, should I just put the graphic that I was gonna put on the t-shirts on the jean jacket? Like I had extra vinyl to spare, so I was like, you know what? Let's run up a design. Boom, bap, had it cut out, put it on the jacket, and I was like, I was stunned. I was like, yo, this is crazy. And at the time, I used a glow in the dark vinyl like puff print
Yeah,
or vinyl like puff adhesive, and it was, bro. I love stepping out in the sun and then walking back into like you know an enclosed space, and then it's just straight glowing. And people are like, "Yo, your jacket's glow in the dark."
I did it. I love
I was
that.
just like, "Yeah, bro."
I think Eden turned. Or he showed me a picture. I don't think you were in the room yet, but him and I, we were yeah, we were just talking one day. Like, dude, let me show you what AJ got.
And it
So
was
I
the
saw
only
that.
one ever made. Nobody else has a jean jacket. I didn't make another one,
That's it.
and the one that I have now, like all the print is just like ripped off and over time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The wear and tear.
yeah.
I remember that. And then you know what? Recently, I saw Kanye, probably like 2 years ago. He was wearing some jeans at a he was like at his ranch, and the jeans were by Denim Tears, and
Hmm.
he had like Denim Tears is also one of those other he works on fashion, but he does prints, and the prints that he does is like the flower print,
Yeah,
and he just
yeah.
puts a bunch everywhere. So like they use, obviously I think a lot of the designs that we use or that we live by are in some way always kind of inspired by nature. So it was kind of dope because I had never seen like a DNA strand used that way. DNA is always used for like scientific,
Dude.
things like that. So when I saw that, I said, "Yo, that's pretty interesting. That's something new that I would have probably thought you would have used like whatever most people use for design with stars, crosses, geometric shapes. But the DNA was just it just
See,
caught my
that's the thing,
attention,
bro.
man.
It came from the love that I have for science, for biology, a little bit of psychology mixed in there. But bro, like growing up, I loved, Bill Nye. I loved like whenever I was in class and I was looking around at science posters, the facts that they had on them,
Yeah,
what um what they would use. That, bro, when it came down to textbooks, presentation slides, anything that involved with like, mitosis, cells, plant cells, animal cells, like where they showed you a little like diagram, bro, I loved it. I got my first microscope when I want to say like 12, 13,
yeah.
and I just loved looking at all any little samples that I had. And I think when it came to all the graphic design that I do, that plays like a huge part in it, bro. Huge part. Like I love just creating a graphic design that kind of gives me that nostalgia from when I was a kid in science class.
Damn, man. I just it's so crazy to see how as you're a kid and this is why I mess with Kanye a lot. Like just talking about the way he got into clothes, because he was at one point so conflicted, but he was always saying like, you know, as a kid you have all these ideas, and then you grow up, and then you kind of, or most people, right? They just like people, you know, they let their ideas get stolen basically.
Oh yeah,
So he,
yeah,
what did he say? He's like, they just stole your dream and you don't know who did it. And it was like, you really don't know who you did it. There's just, you know, at one point you want to be, uh, I don't know, like a football player, and then like out of nowhere you're just like working at like a coffee shop, or
yeah,
you're doing something completely different, and the whole mindset is, well, you know, what happened to that dream basically, you know, like who shot it, who killed it.
yeah.
So it's dope that the love that you had for science is still there. It's just in a different way. You know, you're not straying away from it. So that's what caught my attention, man. That's what I always thought was freaking dope. Seeing DNA. Obviously, I messed with it. I was doing biology in high school, and I was doing biology in high school, and I just messed with the DNA, learned the structure of it, and I've never seen DNA incorporated with fashion. At least, you know, according to the things that I've seen, like, so that's freaking dope, man.
Bro, yes.
That's freaking
I love
dope.
that you said that. Thank you.
Um, one of the questions that I had, I've always been interested as well, is like, as far as the style that you have, everything that you do, you know, with fashion, like, what's your take on it? What are the, you know, there's probably things that you don't like about it, which is why you do your clothes the way you do them.
That's a good question, bro.
Or is it just that you don't like people wearing clothes because it's trendy for that space and
Nah, I
time?
don't. Not necessarily, because I feel like, god damn. Um, just because I feel like sometimes that's how individuals kind of find their fashion taste and their fashion sense
Yeah,
is through trends, you know. And growing up as a kid, like, man, let me tell you, bro. In eighth grade, like, I remember the trend was Nike Elite socks. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Some cargo shorts, a button up with the button all the way on the top,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
cardigan over, and then like a 5 panel hat. And I loved, bro. I absolutely loved matching my hat with my shirt with my socks. You know, and that was a trend. You know, and that really kind of like was bringing out my taste in fashion and kind of
Yeah.
weeding out all the ugly stuff. But I think trends aren't too bad. It's when people are OD about it. When people get like absolutely
OD, what's OD?
crazy,
I
bro.
didn't catch the acronym.
OD is just like too much.
Oh, okay.
You know, like
Obsessed.
it's too much. Yeah, yeah, you could say yeah,
OD.
obsessed. But
Oh, overdose. I just caught it.
um nah, I don't think there's ever been a trend. I'm trying to think if there's a trend that I genuinely was just like, all right, bro, like this needs to stop. Um, Probably gallery department. I feel like I never understood that one.
Gallery department. What's that?
Yeah, they were a brand that had like a lot of pieces where it was just like splattered paint on them.
Oh,
You know, and don't get me wrong, like some of the pieces are
cool.
cool, but I think me personally, I just didn't fuck with when people made alterations to pants and they would make them whiter. There was just like a little strip of triangle fabric that was like a different color. I don't know. I didn't really like that. I didn't think that looked too clean, but
Well, I don't mess with that, man. Look, I was researching. You might find this interesting because there's always people that try to take shortcuts, which is, and you know, when they get, you know, the platform is, it's dope. You know, it's cool, but is after a while, like, it becomes like, I understand what you're doing, and it, you know, it's like that same art gets kind of gets boring, you know, after a while. At least for me. Like, so Jackson Pollock, which is like one of, he's a great American artist, and if you see his paintings, it's just like him throwing paint
uh huh,
on the thing, and, and people do that, you know. People
yeah,
still do that to this day. Like, they just throw paint on it as like a philosophy of like, well, it's well, you know, the whole point when you see a painting, it's like trying to question what is art, and it's like, well, it's just paint on a canvas. So this is me
Yeah.
throwing paint on the canvas. Um, but I was researching that, you know, a lot of his the reason why he got super famous was because in the 1960s or 1950s, that's where a lot of his famous thing. And you know, there I also don't like the title. Some of them are just like untitled, like number 400, whatever, right?
Okay. Okay.
And it was basically because of the Cold War. You wanted people to see, or they say the CIA wanted artists to see America as like this place that's liberating, this place that you have freedom. So we're gonna boast up this painter that all he does is throw paint on it, and it's
Oh,
selling
okay.
for like a lot of, like, it sells for a million, you know,
Yeah,
million,
yeah, yeah.
a couple hundred thousands. So that was kind of like the propaganda of telling the world, hey, look, we're free. We let these type of artists do that type of thing. Where
People can do
obviously,
this and make this type of money.
and in communism,
Yeah.
no, it has to look like the traditional art, you know, things like that. So I just kind of wonder why sometimes, like, those type of people, and in fashion too, you see them, you know, people that philosophically wise, they look at clothing as like, they try to answer that question, what is clothing, what is fashion, and they do the minimum, and for a while it's cool because it's something new,
Yeah.
but it's not practical if you're trying to like stay warm or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, I see. Yeah.
So it's not practical if you're trying to stay warm. But yeah, so I would maybe mess with, like, you know, paint a couple of paint on my outfit. But I just wonder, like, how much, you know, or like, you know, how long, like, till I kind of get bored of it or something.
Yeah. I think. I mean that depends on every person individually. You feel me? Like I get bored of certain pieces that I have at home, but I never get rid of them. I'll keep them, and then let's say like a year, 2 years from now, I'm like, I forgot I had this piece, and at
Yeah,
that point, my fashion sense has developed, and evolved. So I might be in a mindset to where I look at that piece in a whole different perspective, and I'll be like, I can pair it up with this, and this
yeah,
now, and really just kind of bring that piece back to life,
right.
give it some life again.
Because there's designers like Kanye. One of the things that he tried to answer is, why can't people? It was kind of funny, I thought, but you'll remember that you'll see like the shoes, and they'll be all messed up, and they're $600, and
Mm,
that's how they are fresh out the box, because they're trying to answer that philosophical question of, uh, well, a lot of people's shoes over time, they get wasted. So if that's how they are new and they cost that much, you probably won't ever judge someone that, due to the actual wear and tear, it's already beat up. One of the things Kanye tried to answer was like, if you saw a lot of his clothes, it was really homeless. You know, it's like
yeah,
things you would probably think, like, so monotone, earthy colors, things like that. A lot of grays.
yeah,
You know, it's like trying, like, you're wearing clothes that you would probably associate with the homeless. So there's things like that that I would, support. When it comes to paint, it's just, I don't know, it's just the difference of each piece, and, like, what it how cool it looks or things like that.
yeah, definitely.
So your fashion has developed into the clothes that you make. They have this type of purpose. They have this type of like
Yeah,
function.
yeah, almost. I feel like the clothes that I make are in the realm of, how do I put this together? I want to say in the realm of a simplistic loud piece, in the sense of like you could wear it to where it could be the statement piece in your outfit,
Right.
or you could dress it down to coexist with other pieces that you're wearing too. You know what I'm saying? So like, I the clothes that I make are meant to be, what's the word?
Is it like everyday wear
Yeah,
or
essential,
anywhere?
like essentials.
Essential.
You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? Like white tees,
Yeah,
black
yeah,
tees,
yeah.
like t-shirts, hoodies. Like they're meant to be essentials, but have the diversity of being statement pieces on
Right.
your body.
There was a time where I wasn't a fan of it. Obviously, like I had seen like Supreme, and like that hype, and so I kind of got a grudge of it. And graphic T-shirts, there was something that I didn't like. Maybe because there was a point where like I saw everyone wear the California T-shirts,
Ah,
and then I just I think I bought one when I was young, but then like
oh, he was
I
young.
was kind of, yeah, so I was like 13, and I was kind of resentful that I followed that trend, just because everyone was wearing it. So I kind of stopped. I was like, graphic T-shirts, I'm not gonna do that anymore. But then summer came around. Every time there's summer, I'm like, well, man, it's gonna be hot. Like I just want to wear a cool T-shirt, and I don't want to
Yeah.
wear the one I take, to sleep. Um, so
You know what's funny, bro? Graphic tees is like I have the least of those. I probably have like four graphic tees
okay,
in my arsenal.
I one of the things that was crazy, and I think you follow this too, like a lot of fashion designers don't wear what they design, or the style that they design, like is not what they'll wear. Like you'll see them at the end of the runway, or like in their
And they're
personal life,
they're
just like with
completely
jeans, or
different.
yeah, something completely
See,
different.
I feel like I don't fit in that category. I feel like I love to wear what I make.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
love to wear my pieces. At some points I'm probably wearing too much. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like shirt, hat, jeans are all DNA. It's like, all right, buddy,
Switch it up. That's your
chill.
thing. Oh
Sometimes,
yeah.
sometimes, but not all the time. Because I remember there's one time I had a DNA hat on, the jean jacket and the DNA tee. I mean, it's definitely wearing my brand out, bro, and as wearing as much of my brand out as I do. Um, it's almost like an invitation for a conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like people will always like walk up and be like, "Yo, like, what is that? You got three different pieces that say DNA on it.
Yeah.
What is DNA?" And then from there, like, I met one dude literally at a party because of the fact that I was wearing a DNA Kangol that I had and my DNA jean jacket, and he was like, "Yo, bro, like, I see you got DNA. Like, what is that?" And I spoke to him. He told me he was trying to do the same thing as far as like creating a brand, but he had no knowledge on Photoshop whatsoever. And bro, that was like I want to say like maybe 3 years ago,
Okay.
and now he's got bro, he's doing well for himself. He's got his own brand,
Shout them
his
out
pieces,
or
his
no?
pieces. Yeah, it's four galleries.
For
Yeah,
gallery.
Bari. Yeah, four galleries. If y'all know, y'all know,
Okay.
and if y'all
Okay.
don't, now y'all know. But his pieces, bro, fire. And ever since that conversation, he's just been like going crazy, working hard, and I've told him from time to time, I'm just like, bro, like to have one conversation where you tell me you don't know what the fuck to do or how to start, to being like,
On your own.
yeah, ahead of it now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's
one of
fire.
one of the reasons why I said that, a lot of fashion designers, because I became a fan of you posting the I became a fan of you posting your outfits at the trolley
I
stop.
knew you were gonna say this.
Dude, it was dope, bro. One of the things I like about you is the way you pose, bro. This is the way you pose. There's a guy on I think he's like Outlander magazine, something like that. And I forget his name, but the way he does his videos, and like he like makes the noise, puts the boots on, like shows everything.
Mm.
That was what like I liked about like the way you pose, the way you like,
You know
yeah,
what, bro? Taking the trolley, I've like noticed like when I'm in the trolley sometimes or even outside, like I've noticed I'm like, you know what would be cool? I was like, if somebody could come with me inside the trolley to record like an outfit video. And I look at certain parts of the trolley and I'm like, this low key cinematically looks very appealing to
yeah,
the eye. And I was like, this would be a nice shot, a good photo. You know what I mean? But yeah, bro, I was like, you know what? I was like, let me just stand in front of the trolley as soon as it's about to pass by, record a video. Like, I genuinely like the way they came out too. I'm not gonna
yeah.
lie.
Nah, I love them, bro. And it was
Everybody loves, for those of y'all that are watching this and know me, and tapped in and seen the
Yeah.
outfit of the days, the fitty videos. People love when I do my twirl,
We love them, bro. That's what I'm
bro. The
saying. Yeah,
twirl,
it's
bro.
just dope.
It's so funny.
No, I don't remember if a lot if most of your outfits were like DNA, but
Definitely
that's why
not.
that's why that's
Definitely
why
not.
that's why I said that because I did see like a couple cool things in the not necessarily DNA, but still cool.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the stories, man.
Got you, bro. I got a lot of them, especially doing this for as long as I've been doing it, and haven't put out anything. I feel like many times that's been discouraging on my point,
Yeah,
like mentally, being like, damn, like I haven't put anything out at this point. Like, should I could even continue with this? Should I just drop it and just go do something completely
yeah,
different, like at a coffee shop or whatnot? But bro, extremely grateful with the fact that I have it, that I've like really stuck with it and being like, you know what, just because I haven't dropped anything, I'm good. Like there's
yeah.
no rush, there's no
There's no rush.
time. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like, because there's definitely been stuff that I've made from like two years ago. Shoot, even like a couple months ago, and then I'll look at it and be like, I I don't like this. I'm like, I no, this is I could do better.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And it's not coming from a perfectionist standpoint, but I have edits and in tech packs that I've done like few years ago, a couple months ago, that if I pull up to this day, if I pull up, 5 years from now, I'd be like, bro, this still, I
yeah.
still love this piece, you know.
Well, I know you brought some
I did,
goodies,
bro. I
so
did,
let's see them, man. And I'm sure people are gonna support,
bro.
man.
Y'all, I don't think y'all understand. I did. I'm not gonna lie. I did post a little sneak peek of one of the pieces in my arsenal. Don't know when this is coming out, but I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna make it just to make it because I want to have fun. And I brought a couple of them with me, along with some other pieces. So y'all get to have a little sneak peek. There's no set date. So don't come at me being like, when is it gonna drop? You need to drop this. I know I need to fucking drop this.
Why don't you show them, describe them, and or you want me to close up
No,
the
no, no.
just from here?
I'm gonna
Okay,
hand you the pieces so you can really take
show
a
them
look
out.
at this. Yes,
This is
you
the
can
first one.
unfold that. Yeah, that's a hoodie. So a lot of people who know me and have been following the brand, this is a hoodie that I've been working on for
Do I gotta
years,
fold it
since
again?
the no, no, you good, from the start, right? Nice red on pink. The only difference, the things that I've been making, I've been playing around with the fitment of it. Really trying to get my measurements right, the size of the logo right, the quality of the actual garment. Which this
I like how it
I've gone
feels.
through. I've gone through. I want to say two different manufacturers, and about like 4 to 5 different samples of this hoodie. And by far, this one's probably my favorite, just because the inside's straight up like a blanket, bro. It feels
Oh
like a
yeah,
blanket. This piece, honestly, there's some minor adjustments that I need to make as far as like size.
yeah.
This will smelt it. It's got that manufacturer
Dude,
smell.
it like I love it, bro.
But
It's
yeah,
so
so
soft.
so I have this in two other colorways, a green and pink, and then a yellow and blue. Um,
The yellow and blue probably looks fire, bro.
this is gonna be part of the first showcase. Y'all know it. The first showcase is going to include this hoodie and this tee that I'm wearing. You can't,
A
not
little.
this black and pink one, but a version of it. So that's the first piece. You can just throw it up there, bro. All right, these pieces I recently worked. I actually worked on these this year. I started these up. These were all inspired by part of it had to be Lil Yachty. So Lil Yachty, just cause bro, he's my like biggest fashionist.
Oh
Bro, I
yeah,
love the colors he uses, bro. I love the silhouettes he pulls out, just the pieces he has.
he became the creative director of Nautica.
Yeah,
That was dope.
that was, and Steve from Blues Clues. So if you know, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, of
So
course.
this is the first piece, and it's just a nice, striped polo. There's no logos, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? The only logos you're gonna get are on the tags. You got 3 individual tags right here. I just thought that really fit, this design.
That's dope.
I fucking hate this shirt though. I hate the quality of this. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all.
I like the fade though. I like the faded purple and
Yeah, I
red
love the colors. And one thing you'll notice
and the buttons.
the buttons match like the next shirt that's coming out.
Oh,
So
okay.
all the buttons are linked. All the buttons are gonna be different colors. This is gonna match, a different shirt that's coming out, and so on and so forth.
But why don't you like it?
I
What's up with
just
it? For
I
the
feel like
quality.
the quality's good. The quality's good. The sizing was off. The sleeves were super super tight, bro. Like I'm
Oh,
talking like skin tight.
damn.
And so I needed to readjust my sizing chart,
This is what,
and
a
I
L?
want to try, yeah, that's a large, and I want to try a different fabric because this is French terry, and I think I'm gonna go with cotton next because I really want to see how that feels.
You
But
think if I
that's
wear it, it'll grip my skin?
maybe not, bro.
Nah, just kidding. I'm not gonna wear it.
So there's that colorway. There's this one.
I'm already loving the baby blue. That's dope.
Yes, sir. So this one. So obviously the purple one had the green buttons, right? I don't have that one, so I'll tell you right now. It's this one, but in the green and blue colorway. If y'all follow me on Instagram, y'all seen it. I posted it recently. This one's got orange buttons on it, which corresponds to this next one that's coming out.
Oh, that one's dope, bro.
And then obviously this one's got the blue buttons to go with that one. So, but yeah, bro, these were all. I just wanted to have something that was, like I said, this could be a statement piece. You wear this with
Jeans.
some black jeans, some Docs, some Tims, some whatever it is, because it's got a nice crop boxy fit, bro.
Yeah.
It'll fit the body perfectly. It'll give you this silhouette to really play around with. But you could also throw a jacket over it to really layer it and build upon it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I got one final piece, which honestly, this was like I did all of this at the start of 2025, and this last piece, is probably one that I was like really nervous about, but extremely, extremely excited when I got it. You know, this design I've had in the vault for, I want to say, like 2.5 years. I created it the same time that I made like the hoodies and the t-shirts.
Yeah.
But we got a pair of jeans, bro.
Oh shit.
We got a pair of jeans. The front, nothing crazy. They're nice wide leg, so they'll fit extra nice.
And then when you turn it
And
around,
then when you turn it around, you got a full bone back print. Got a nice little white leather tag that I need to extend down here, but it's got the DNA logo on it. Got DNA written down right here on the left leg, and then I call this the DNA dot strand on the right. So this is gonna come out in 3 different colorways. Don't know when. Don't ask me, but it will come out. I will stop playing around. I promise.
damn,
Yeah,
bro.
bro. These are the pieces that I've kind of had in the vault. I've got, bro. I'll show you one that I won't show the camera because I literally came
We'll
up
do
with
it
the
after.
idea. Yeah, we can do it after.
Yeah,
We can
yeah.
do it. Actually, no, we won't do it after.
Right
I'm gonna
now.
do it in front of the camera because
Okay.
I want them to get your reaction and just be like, "Yo, what the fuck did you show?"
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. So my main thing, started 2025 was I'm definitely dropping this year. I don't have a set month or anything. I already know exactly the commercial shoots that I'm doing and how that's gonna roll out.
Okay.
What pieces I'm dropping and how, what pieces are following it up next. What I've been really focused on is on my downtime. Instead of just kind of being like, well, I can't work on this, and this until this gets done, which is a week from now. I was just like, you know what? Let me focus on tech packs.
Okay.
So that way, I have a vault of things ready
Okay.
at my disposal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ready to just be like, okay, make me a sample. Let's see how this comes out. And it's definitely grown. It's definitely grown from when I first started. There's a lot of pieces in there that I've, teased out to the community, my story. And there's a lot of pieces that only the close homies know. And whatever homies are watching this, you've seen these pieces. But this is one that I was just cleaned up today.
Oh, yo, this is dope. This reminds me like the what's it called? The checker one, the checkerboard.
Ah,
But like there was some people that would get like the black and white, and then they got like the rainbow one.
yeah.
That's dope though. But they never had like these color schemes. I like I
Bro,
like that,
this
bro.
this
That's like the buckle.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it's gonna be pretty big.
that's
He
it.
gave you a keyword right there, buckle,
That's freaking dope as a button.
bro. And that, bro, don't tell him this motherfucker.
Well, what? We'll cut that. We'll cut
Nah,
that.
you don't gotta cut it. You don't gotta cut it. Um, bro, that idea literally came straight off of another tech pack that I was working on. It was just one portion, like one small portion of the tech pack, and I was like, what if I just took this and made it this, and just, you know what I'm saying? So I'm excited for that. I don't know when that one's gonna come into play, but I got a lot of ideas just kind of sitting in the vault, which I'm excited to share with y'all. And if they don't, motherfuckers are gonna clip
Yeah, we're
this. You
gonna
know what I'm
clip
saying?
it.
And be like, "Yo, remember when Baby said?" For for those of y'all that don't know me,
Yeah.
moms call me Baby. That's my nickname. Baby said he was gonna drop this year, and he did it. But nah, I plan on it, and I feel like future drops are only gonna get um, I don't want to call them drops. I don't call them drops. I call them showcases because the pieces that I make are straight art pieces.
Yeah.
And you don't drop an art piece, bro. You showcase it.
Look, I have a great connection with well, maybe I don't know if I messed it up recently, but I had a great I have I'm gonna say I have because I don't know yet, but I have a great connection with this artist. He paints a lot, right? So he does like murals, canvases. He painted
Oh, okay,
a
fire.
freaking jet. He lives in Joshua Tree.
Damn.
Luis Carrion. Um, anyway, so he's been trying to make it into like museums and like more. So he has a great following, but he's been trying to get more mainstream, right? So, but he always kind of I think for him he doesn't share like because as fans, right? Just like when you learned about those underground artists, even though you like them, there's a point I think in every fan that you're trying to understand. I want to see you out there. Like I want to see you like win the Grammys. I want to see you get
Yeah.
mainstream. But sometimes I think people don't understand the conflicts, the challenge you have to go through. One of the things I would want you to expand more on is explain more is in the background in the at backstage you got to make these and you mentioned of dealing with the sizes not always coming out right, messing with different or what's it called, like experimenting like different what's the thing, different
Damn,
is
they
it
got Red Bull
factories?
backpacks. Can I get one, please?
Oh yeah, nah, you're good. You won't get
I saw
sponsored
the
by it.
backpack and I was like,
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
This podcast is brought to you by Red Bull.
We're
Have you ever seen these?
sponsored.
Anyways, that was a quick little break. But
She got a flavored one. What the hell? Okay, continue.
yo, that's a sick backpack, huh?
It is. It like caught my eye, and I was like, "Where did they get those?" And I saw the jackets, and I was like, "All right, it all makes
Oh,
sense."
you thought they like brought it out.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, resuming on one of the things that maybe they don't understand is you dealing with. Did you say factories? What'd you say?
Hmm.
Like the yeah. So what's that? What
Okay.
has that experience been like trying
So
to get these produced?
it's been a rough ride. When I first started and I first found a manufacturer, for those of y'all who are barely tapping in, who have tapped in, it's all just kind of like plug and play. It's kind of doing your research, looking for a manufacturer that can make what you're looking for.
Manufacturer, yeah,
Yeah, that you. It's also on you too. Like you got to make sure that your tech packs are detailed enough to show them exactly how you want it to be made.
yeah,
The biggest thing is that like my first manufacturer I ran into, he was from Pakistan, and he shipped out hella quick, made it hella quick, but the communication just wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of like I had ordered at least 3 different samples of the same product by him, and all 3 of those samples were all different fabrics. and I
Oh shoot,
and that was
yeah.
the one problem. I was just like, oh, wait, I don't understand why
One is
this,
cotton, one
yeah,
is
this one's French terry, this one's cotton, and then this one's got like fleece. Like what,
what's going on?
you know? But it's tough overall because I'm lucky enough to where the second manufacturer that I actually was like I put samples in for production, which were the ones that had made all three of these products here, all four of these products. Um, they came out like amazing as far as like quality, fabric. What I was looking for is exactly what they gave me. Um, Anything that was messed up, like the sizing, that fell on me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
right.
know what I'm saying? So it's tough because you have to wait almost like a month, 2 months, depending on the product and how complex it is that you're getting made. You have to wait for it to be made and then get shipped to you, and that's just a sample alone. And if the sample's got, you know, some qualities about it that you want to change later on, you got to change those qualities,
Right.
put in another order for the sample, wait that same amount of
Yeah,
time,
yeah, yeah.
you know, and whatnot. So it's been a lot of ups and downs, definitely.
And in that time, you start to kind of rethink, yo, maybe I should change it up.
No, not necessarily. Not
Okay,
necessarily.
okay.
Mainly when that happens, it's when I send a tech pack to a manufacturer and they're like, hey, for this specific portion, we can do this, or we can do it like this instead of like how you have it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it'd be like, okay, you know what? Let me, like, there's this one idea that I had. It's called DNA B cell sweats.
Okay.
So a pair of sweats that I was working on, and I wanted B cell patches, a very specific type of. They were just patches that were supposed to mimic cells
Yeah.
and like microorganisms
Okay.
and stuff like that. And the manufacturer that I was talking to told me that it was too complex, that it was a lot of stuff that they had to do by hand and whatnot, which obviously drove up the cost by like tenfold.
Damn.
And so I had to try and alter my tech pack, my design, to try to like see if I could give them something that they could make. And
Yeah.
ultimately, I was just like, bro, I'm not. If I want this on the pants, like I would just have to take my chances and find a manufacturer that can get
Yeah, I
me the
can do it.
closest to it.
Yeah.
You know, because like I mean, the product that I just showed you, a manufacturer's gonna look at that and be like, what the
Yeah.
like this is a cool design, but can we make it?
Yeah, yeah.
Which I believe you can.
I believe you
Definitely
can.
can.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't make it, I'll do this shit myself.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll
exactly.
just do it myself at that point. But it's been very long process. Um, Definitely in the time when I'm waiting to receive the sample, that's my moment where I'm thinking about, okay, potential photo shoots that I could do with the item, commercial shots that I could do with
Yeah.
the item, um, and start a new tech pack, start a new DNA piece to add to the vault, or go back and refine one that needs a little bit more work.
Yeah.
That's what's really taken the longest. There's also a DNA shoot that I did at SDSU. Shout out to everybody that came. It was like 20 plus people
Yeah, yeah, it was a
as
lot.
models. It was a lot, bro. It was my first time ever managing that many people for a video shoot. Um, my first time ever writing a script. It was shitty, directing anything. It was extremely, extremely difficult. But shout out to everybody that was there, who stayed for the amount of time, who put in the effort, came up fitted. Y'all really killed it. I remember, bro, the first day of that shoot, after it had happened, I looked over the footage and we had absolutely no audio from it. We got not a single lick of audio.
Like they didn't turn on the mic or what?
Like Eden had it plugged in the wrong
Hole.
port. So it
Yeah,
was
that
instead,
that could have been rocked in.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So instead of it coming from the boom mic that he had, it was coming from the actual mic in his pocket.
Oh,
So all you
damn.
heard was the rustling of his pants and stuff.
Damn.
So we lost all that footage, and I was like, bro. And then on day 2, not everybody that was there on day 1 could make it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we ended up like scrapping the whole thing and just kind of improvising, which we actually ended up making a pretty cool video, which I told Eden that I kind of want the footage from that because we could still use some of that as
Yeah.
like, because people did show up, bro. People showed up, took time out of the day, got dressed, you know what I'm saying, and really showed out for me. So the least I could do is like really show them the
Yeah.
clips that that they made.
Damn.
But it's been a lot of
It's been
ups and downs.
challenging. Yeah.
Definitely, as an artist and any creative individual can agree with me, bro. Like especially if you're someone who's got to work like a 9 to 5, who's got to go to school, juggling that time between those responsibilities and your creative responsibilities is extremely difficult. And not only that, but you got life unexpectancies that happen, family unexpectancies that happen,
Yeah.
so all of those obviously come into play, you know and that's probably been one of the biggest mental challenges to get over, that and kind of seeing other creatives on like my feed who are doing it and not feel the need to compare, where they're at
Right.
and where I'm at, because I know that that's a roadblock that a lot of people hit for sure. And at the end of the day, it's just kind of having that confidence within yourself, and knowing that what you're doing and why you're doing it is not for others, but essentially just for you,
Right. Right. Right.
you
Exactly.
know.
I want to connect with you on that because I have a couple projects that are more urban, and one of the things I love about it is when I think about spaces and just like right now, Liberty Station, right? We're at the public market, and there's just a space where people just come hang out, and obviously we're all dressed. We all wear whatever we wear based on where you're at. So a lot of my spaces, I'm aware like the people that are gonna show up, what they're gonna wear, how that could contrast, make it cool, so people can definitely come here, chill. A couple of the spaces that I'm thinking about in Chicano Park, like just redesigning the basketball courts and then maybe like a venue of like an event space. And I think about like the design that people like the fashion that people are gonna go to that place, and hopefully it resembles the heritage of the Aztecs and the Mayan, the indigenous of Mexico. And one of the things that I was working my part time, and obviously it just wasn't enough for me to like be able to um what's it
Excuse
called,
me.
like just be able to do the things I wanted to do, right? Like
Yeah.
I just basically like I didn't have so much money to like talk to people or like take time out of my day to do things. So one of the things that I kind of decided was like, you know what, I'm gonna get a 9 to 5. But that's once I have that money, I think that I'll be able to more comfortably spend on on the ideas that I have, be able
Yeah.
to like talk to people and things like that. Cause like when your own ideas, it's happened to me, when your own ideas aren't flourishing or it's not picking up as fast as you wanted, you're having trouble with the manufacturers. I'm having trouble with like trying to see like what are the materials that I want to use. When that's not really happening, or I'm not really trying finding like a mentor to guide me, and I'm broke, it's the worst, man.
Yeah.
So one of the challenges though is you get that 9 to 5 and then you don't have time where you kind of rely. So I've always kept it in my mind like I'm trying to be that. I'm still trying to like I'm gonna get that 9 to 5, but I'm still gonna in the back of my mind I know I'm not gonna let that goal die in essence.
Yeah.
Cause
I think
are you like are you already like making money off of, you feel me,
off of DNA.
off of DNA?
No, I haven't made a lick off of DNA. But to me, that's not what it's about.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I will gladly like continue pouring as much money as I need into it to really let my ideas
yeah,
flourish.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not in it to, you know,
Right.
I mean, the goal is to, yes, like have this put me in a space to where like, I can do it
Dedicate
full time.
yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And
your whole
really, and
take
really
to it.
like pour 150% into it. But no, I haven't made like a cent off of DNA.
I mean, neither, bro. All of my projects.
So that's how you know it's strictly out of genuine love
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for it, bro.
A lot of my projects are just out there. There's, a couple of my pages, they got followers. Like I got ideas that are slowly picking up. I just got into contact with like an architect, so hopefully he's gonna guide me to do things like that. And that guy, he makes his own clothes too.
Oh, fire.
Like he'll knit, or he'll buy like it's funny because he'll, just like you, he'll buy like a t-shirt or a pants, and he'll say, I don't like that. I need to add something to it. And he was just like, add like a pattern or something. So I was talking to him. I was like, yo, that's kind of dope, man. Like he's really. And he was telling me like architecture isn't really just like buildings, even though that's what he thinks. But he's like, it's also just fashion. Like it's just being a creative is like
Yeah.
just taking something that you like and just like adding your own, things. He was trying to tell me like you need to find your style. So I know it's been challenging, man. I know dealing with, but I wanted you to share that because I think some people they'll just ask, hey, why haven't you put anything out? I might not comprehend that you're dealing with like right sizes and like trying to get people to actually be able to create these things, because I think samples are pretty easy, right? Like you can make the sample, but trying to make someone else recreate it again and again
Yeah.
is a challenge.
No, definitely. I'm glad I was given the opportunity to kind of, so for whoever watches it, kind of gets like a little background in me and my
Yeah,
personal love for it, and then what's been going on as far as lately. Obviously, it's not exactly detailed into every specific aspect, but
it's moving. It's moving.
nah, definitely.
It's it's interlocking slowly but surely. So I was always curious, man. One time I remember for architecture, I thought I could do it on my own. I said, well, I have this idea, right? And then I started thinking, wait, I don't really even know about materials like that. And I was just like, damn, I don't even know how to build a house. Like I don't know if I would use concrete. I don't even know if you can make a house without concrete. I was like, so that goes to my question: how did you gain that knowledge of how to choose the right fabrics?
Um, just research, bro. Research and looking at clothes that I already own that I genuinely love. A lot of like the sizing and measurements come from pieces that I own.
Okay.
That I love the way they fit my body, and it either be the same measurements, or I usually like to tweak them a little bit
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
to really kind of whether if I want like an extra little kind of flare coming out of the
yeah,
bottom pant leg or whatever. Um, but yeah, bro, it's just years of picking up clothes at thrift stores, looking at
yeah,
patterns, colors, materials. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? The different things, the different ways designs can be put onto clothes.
yeah.
You know, played a big part.
Because I just saw at the Met Gala, um, you know Jenna Ortega.
Yeah,
She was just wearing a
like rulers, no?
she was wearing a metal rulers,
Yeah,
and I thought that was even though the dress for me wasn't like crazy because it was just another dress. The silhouette was just another dress, but I just thought that was pretty cool that they didn't go with cotton. They went with
with
like
metal.
with metal. You get me?
Yeah,
So I just thought that was insane, and I said, that's how people like are creative like that. They'll research different type of materials that they can use, and it doesn't always have to be what we're used to.
yeah. And bro, I literally know less than like 5% when it comes to like materials, patterns, fabrics, um, design, um, like I don't know what to call them, procedures, like different. Like how you have screen printing, you have
Oh,
DMG,
right,
you
yeah, yeah,
got
yeah,
embossment, puff print, whatever it is. Uh, bro, I love like this little, because there'll be times where I'm like researching up a specific way like a design's put into the fabric that isn't direct to print,
right,
and that's when I learn. I'm just like, oh, that technique, printing techniques. There you go. I was like, that technique is called this. I was like, I didn't know that.
right,
And then I like research that technique and find more niche things. A lot of other stuff is Pinterest, bro.
yeah.
Pinterest.
Oh yeah, dude.
Pinterest gives you so many ideas, and I've gotten like a lot of good stuff from Pinterest as far as like materials and patterns
Okay.
and whatnot. But yeah, the fabrics and stuff that I choose are based off of like how I want the garment to feel when I'm like, because all of us, bro, like it's also like a texture and sensory thing. We all at one point kind of just like rubbing our hands on our legs, adjusting our jeans,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hands in our pocket, feeling our shirt,
Right.
and sometimes there's certain like fabrics and clothes that we have where we're like, um, we play with like a certain area. We're like, we play with the collar of our shirt. You know what I'm saying? We play with the cuff of our like hoodie or whatnot, and those things like I just pay attention to the clothes that I have, how thick I want it. It's also a guessing game for me because of the fact that like I don't know a lot of like the weighted fabrics like GSM, like off the top of my head. Like if I were to get French terry hoodie with a GSM of like 580.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a very thick ass hoodie. That's super thick,
Yeah.
but I can't tell you off the top of my head and be like, oh, I know how thick that hoodie's gonna be
Right,
based off
right.
of GSM. So that's something I'm learning along the way.
And it's a lot of what, like trial and error, trial and error. Just trying to, once you get that sample, then you'll know
Yeah,
what it's
that and
like.
probably literally that. I mean, yeah, because if I knew, it'd be different. You know what I'm saying? As
Yeah.
far as like, okay, I know that this is the type of fabric I'm going to want to use. This is the type of printing technique that I want with this sample.
Right.
You know, this detail needs to be. One thing I'm like learning right now is like, um, I guess another sneak peek. Playing around with like, I guess you say like dimensions. I'm trying to make a belt buckle, so instead of just putting a 2D image of just the front of the belt buckle and the back of it, I added like a side image to where it's like, 3 dimensional,
Right.
so that way I could tell them like, okay, I want it
How thick?
this thick, of like I wanted this specific millimeter of thickness to the belt buckle and whatnot. So I'm starting to dive into a little bit more detail oriented and complex things when it comes to my pieces.
Do they charge you for samples?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Damn, man.
Definitely. The sample, like, I got I got the jeans. I got one pair of jeans, 3 pairs of hoodies, and then 2 pairs of the t-shirt. So that's like what, 6 samples. I dropped like, I want to say 700 for all of those to be made.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's cost a little bit more because you're only making one
Right.
of it. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, when you get to bulk in that, the price drops
Yeah, yeah, of course.
and whatnot. But yeah, bro, that's another thing. Like, samples cost
Yeah, yeah. That's
money,
why
and the
I think it's
prices are
important.
keep going up.
I think it's important, to know that, because as people that just look, it can be so easy for us to say, man, just drop it, and it's like, hey, you got the money to produce it. You feel me?
Yeah, not only that, it's just I don't want to drop a crappy like whatever hoodie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's been my biggest thing. Like, if I will not wear it out, then I'm not going to drop it.
All right.
And that's the same talk that I've had with a lot of like multiple people where they're like, bro, like, just drop it and then like make something better. But it's like, you know what? No, like, why? I don't want to be my first product to be like a crappy product
Yeah,
to
yeah,
where it's
yeah.
like I'm not 100% proud of it.
You ever you went to San Diego State, right? And
I did
what was your major? Your major was
psychology.
psychology.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever talk to any is that where you met, the DNA squad at State?
No, DNA Squad was actually
High
very
school?
close friends. Yeah, from high school. They did that. I mean, one of them went to state, right? Yeah, she went to state. But I will say, I did meet a lot of my creative friends that I have to this day at SCSU,
Okay.
and all of them have their own thing going on. Like, I met, shout out to Kyle. He's got his own company called Till Death Do Us Part,
So that dude, but
TDYP.
yeah.
Oh, he's crazy behind the camera. He's actually done a couple of shoots with like Star Wars costumes, like
Oh shoot,
legitimate Star Wars
that's
costumes.
dope.
It came out super sick. His camera work for like the stuff that he's dropped and the colors that he's used, bro. The production of everything is beautiful. Shout out to Kyle. Um, I've met another homie whose brand is called Nasim. Shout out
Nothing.
to Jay Duzzy. Yeah, so he was Jay Duzzy was actually the person who introduced me to Kyle, and yeah, bro. And from there, things kind of flourished. Shout out to Peace of Mind.
Peace of mind. I gotta, definitely
Peace of Mind.
follow
If
him.
y'all trying to follow them, is Peace of Mind dot us. Shout out to We All Ugly. Shout out to Adrian and Josh and their whole entire family. If y'all know, I mean, We All Ugly is definitely a local brand
I
that's been
like that. We
popping
all
out.
ugly.
So if y'all know, y'all know. If y'all don't, now y'all know.
Now you know.
Who else? Who else? Who else? There's a couple other people that I wanted to shout out. We got Peace of Mind. We got Till Death Do Us Part. Kyle, Jay Duzzy. Oh, um, shout out Hector, H Milan.
H
If you
Milan,
guys, bro, he does all
Hector,
of his
H Milan.
pieces by hand. Like he sews his pieces by hand.
Damn, that's dope.
Does it by like panels, bro. His work is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody, bro. But for real, shout out to all my homies that have literally been with me through this creative process, especially during the rough times, and always making sure that like no matter what, at the end of the day, I don't stop doing what I love.
Yeah. That's dope, man. You have a great squad. I got to meet some of them, at the shoe, and they were all supportive, man. So that was dope to see. And I would have thought that they were like nervous, but dude, they went in there and they did, what your vision was, at that time.
Oh,
So
shout out Faith by
Faith
Luis.
by
Yes,
Luis.
can't forget about him.
Okay.
He's bro big. He's got some sick ass belts.
Okay.
I already shouted out Bari. Shout out Bari.
Mari.
Um, okay, yeah, my bad. I like cut you off.
No, no, no.
It's all coming
I
back in
was I was
flashes.
just gonna say because when I was doing the San Diego State Opera, when we got time to actually start putting the whole thing together, they got someone from the someone that was studying fashion. She was her name was Faith, um, black girl.
Long hair,
Yeah, yeah,
bro.
Faith.
That's crazy.
Yo,
You know what's wild,
yeah.
dude? Okay, so there's
I
one
love
day,
her, bro. And there was someone else, but I just remember her.
bro. There's one day at SASU where I saw her and I stopped her and I was just like, "Yo, your outfit is fire. This is my name. This is what I do. I would love to have you a part of it. Like, if you're interested, just send me a message on Instagram." And she had told me, she was like, "Oh, I'm already
Caught up.
no, she's already tied to an agency." So she was
Mm.
like, "I don't think my agency is gonna let me,
Put
go off and do
yeah,
like a shoot." And I was just like, "Oh, I'm like, all good. All you know what I'm saying, makes sense."
yeah.
But that's crazy, you know her, bro,
Faith, bro.
because she
Yeah,
was like,
she put us together, and we were doing like medieval pieces. So she brought a lot of things. I have a picture where I look like Harry Styles because I had the pink shirt and like the long things, but not that I look like Harry Styles, but just like the outfit. Um, but anyways, bro, yeah, she's freaking dope. Faith, I remember her, and I remember walking into the closet. And it was just like a bunch of like outfits, bro. So the only reason why I brought her up was, or the only reason why I brought that experience up was to say that, like, definitely, if you ever wanted to reach, yeah, if you ever got to reach out to Faith, like maybe she wouldn't be able to help you, like, on your shoot or anything, but that knowledge that she has, I mean, it's for free. You get me?
yeah, that's
Teach you
true.
about like fabrics.
That's
Teach you
true.
about things like that. Whatever you need, she probably can answer it. You know.
I'd have to go searching to see if I even still have her
I think I
Instagram.
have her. I think I have her IG, man.
But
She was dope, dude. I
yeah,
loved
she
her.
was super cool. Shout out AOD Wear. AOD Wear. My boy,
Right.
that's my other boy's brand. Fire as well. Shout out Doomsday. That's another San Diego brand. Fire as well. He just came out with a fitted cap with buttons, literally like metal buttons,
Oh shoot.
all over, like the ones you have on your jean
Yeah,
jacket,
yeah, yeah.
all over the hat. fire. Shout out to Horrid Garments. Their stuff is really really cool. They got some beautiful fucking pants. Um,
I'm gonna listen to it and then I'm gonna like type
yeah,
them out,
no,
you know,
definitely,
and,
definitely.
and
I'll
follow.
send you the whole list. See, that's the thing that I love too. Is just ever since starting this, I've like been introduced to so many different creative individuals.
Yeah,
That have and are still making SD known
you're right.
for sure.
Well, one of the things that like I just by looking at your outfit, man, like where'd you get that necklace, bro? It's dope. It's fire.
Bro, everybody loves to talk about it, and I mean it's a statement piece. It's very very big, very out there. Um, I'm gonna gatekeep where I got it from,
I was just gonna say if you got
but
it at a flea market, like I gotta hit
it's
those up.
honestly like you won't find it. You won't find it. It's a one on one. Um,
It's
but yeah,
nice
bro,
though,
I
bro.
liked it because of the fact that it looks just like a rosary,
Yeah,
without any of the religious
yeah.
artifacts. So there's no like Catholic cross or anything like that. But it's still a very elegant, beautiful piece that I love to wear, bro. That's the thing about like
It's
when it
dope.
comes to clothes and even down on my jewelry. I love stuff that really one speaks to me and really kind of stands out.
Yeah,
You know, my jewelry is part of my
I like
fits
that,
for
man.
real.
I don't wear a lot of jewelry, as you can see. Just got a watch not too long ago. That's it, you know. I don't wear rings or anything like
Sometimes
that.
that's all you need.
But I
Sometimes
did
that's
have a
all you
ring
need.
once that I like. But yeah. Anyways, I gotta kind of go out there a little bit. Guess I definitely do want a necklace. But anyways, man, dude, I hope I was telling Eden not too long ago when I think about the people that gonna be famous. There's a video out there that like cause I was doing this interview anyways and I just said from my phone because I had to look at my contacts and I said out of my contacts I probably think Audrey gonna be the one. I said
Ah,
that, bro. I said that because I saw the vision, man. So
I appreciate you, bro, and that genuinely means a lot. That genuinely means a lot, bro.
so much potential, man. Like I just, I've always been a, I've always been someone that has always supported the arts. You know, whatever it is, you want to draw, if you want to make clothes, because there's not a lot of people that take that risk. You get me?
Yeah,
And it's been, I know it's challenging. Everyone always says if you're gonna be an artist, you're gonna be broke, and that's always the mindset. That's always the thing in the back of your mind. But man, I've always been a believer, bro, of it, and like people need clothes. You get me?
no, definitely.
People need clothes. At the end of the day, it's like you can't live with it. That's why, like, one of the things that this architect told me, he told me treat architecture as a trade, and I wonder if you can apply that to fashion. Treat it as a trade.
I think you could.
I think you could.
I think you could
You know how like
definitely.
a plumber goes and just gives out his services.
Yeah.
So what's like if everything would go as planned? Like what's the vision you have for DNA? All things going the way you want them.
Honestly, bro, I imagine myself surrounded by people that I love to the core, genuine souls, genuine
Yeah,
people who have love for the game, who are doing it because they just love to create. You know what I'm saying? They have the same love for DNA as I do.
yeah,
I'm envisioning a big team of creatives. I'm talking like videographers, writers,
yeah.
editorial.
Like people that write,
Yeah,
journalists,
there you go.
something like that.
I was
Yeah,
I was blanking. I was really trying to pull a word out of my ass. But yeah, bro, I just imagine a big team of people who literally just all have genuine love for each other, who are trying to really, you know, have their own thing. That's one thing too. Like, say if I build a team, I don't want to strip those individuals from their own projects, their own personal
yeah, yeah,
projects.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want them to be like, oh, like I'm doing
Like that,
music
like
as under this name. You know what I'm saying? Or like I'm doing graphic design under this name, but when I join DNA, it's like everything I create has to be for them. It's like, nah, bro. Like
yeah,
I want you to be able to join DNA to use the platform. I envision, you know, honestly, bro. I want to do a runway show.
That's
At one
dope.
point, I want to be able to host a runway show. I'm definitely hosting an art gallery, or
The art gallery would be dope.
just a gallery showcase in general. I thought about that since day one. But yeah, the future for me just looks like having a bunch of creative individuals that are genuine or my people that I love. You
Where do you
know,
envision the runway show?
that's what I don't know.
Because it
I
could be
don't know.
anywhere,
It
bro.
could literally be anywhere.
There's some places you might have to
We're
pay.
yeah, we'll have to converse about that because I need you to bust out some of them architecture pointers and be like, bro, this space
Yeah,
right here.
yeah. And that's kind of one of the points that I was gonna see. Like, if you saw the podcast with Eden, I was talking to him about like right here. This space is so it communicates that this area is like social friendly, right?
Yeah.
You're here to you see people playing over there on that boat. It's just a fun space to come chill, talk, do whatever, have a meeting if you have to. And then you all like UCSD though, I was telling him
Oh, I remember that
on that
part.
top
On that
part,
top part, like
it
not a lot of people.
discourages you
Yeah,
to like
I remember.
chill around there.
Yeah.
But him, so it's like a platform. So is there a time that you design based on like where you think people will wear your clothes?
Oh, that's a great question. I feel like minorly.
Okay.
I feel like I don't have a necessary set design of a garment, or I've envisioned like, okay, I designed this garment specifically because I envisioned it being someone wearing it in front of this space.
Right.
I have like that has definitely come into play. Like I've definitely thought about um, the colors that people might mix and match that certain piece with, and what the background of that outfit picture might even look like,
Yeah.
and what colors from that background incorporated also, you know,
Right.
fluently like dive into the colors of the outfit
Yeah. Yeah.
and whatnot. But I have yet to. There's only one thing. There's one thing. There's a truck on the highway, like a semi truck, who the metal crate in the back was like a, oh my god, it was like a light plum purple,
Okay.
very very light, like almost like a bluish purple,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I love the color of it. And then the actual like base of the truck, the bed of the truck, was like a soft pink. And seeing those two colors together, I was like, bro, those colors fit so well. I ended up taking a picture, taking those colors and implementing it into like 2 to 3 different products that I
Yeah.
made,
Yeah.
because I was just like, bro, I love the way this looks together.
I definitely like look at. I forget what I look at, but I'll look at like I'll use more like nature. You feel me? Because I don't think you
Mm,
can go wrong. I do have trouble like putting colors together, but I'll look like at a flower and say, well, they got these two colors going hand in hand, so I can use that.
it's a great way to think.
It's a great way to think, man. And like my girlfriend, like she loves flowers, so I've been trying to get more into it. And so it's been a great like case study
Yeah,
for color patterns.
definitely. Yeah, I feel like when it comes to colors, bro, I'm always just seeing patterns in my head. Like,
Yeah,
whether it be I'm outside, I take a lot of inspiration from my surroundings, where I'm at, what colors are paired up. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to buildings, other people's outfits,
yeah,
accessories, purses, what I'm saying, shoelaces to shoes, like any
right,
little small detail, bro. Like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, yo, this would be a good colorway, you know. And I'm also like always constantly thinking about like, oh, what if I match this color with this color? Or if this color was on this type of t-shirt and this color was on this type of hat, and I put them together, like,
right, right,
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
Well, I've definitely have had to thought about it, like going on dates. I gotta think more about my outfits. So like color's been a big thing, but like there was a time where before like all I would have just worn like I don't know, just kind of looked like I got out of bed and things like that. I was definitely into like I'm into the straight jeans, the straight like slacks and things like that. So I think like skinny jeans is just not like it's something that I thought I liked. I don't
Bro,
really,
they're making a comeback. I'm
yeah,
telling you right now. There's a lot of influencers,
skinny.
like fashion influencers, and just people who love fashion. Who I can see skinny jeans coming back and being altered.
Okay,
I low he can, but no, I agree with you. I agree with
man.
you.
Well, I think we probably gotta wrap this up, man.
Yeah, we do. It's just been flowing.
This is probably the longest one. I think so. I'll have
Shout
to
out.
make the cuts, and
Yeah.
you'll see that. But all right, well, the last question that I always like ending of the pod, because I think this is like the question that will set you up, to not stop creating, to continue to create, is what do you wish to accomplish in these next 6 years of 2025? 6 years, six
So, yeah, I
months.
was about to say there's 6 years left in 2025. That's crazy. Um, things that I wish I accomplished right off the bat, bro, is to finally drop my first showcase of garments. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, but put into production samples, put into production some samples that are personally gonna change the game for me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about like the fashion game. I'm talking about, you know, the game as far as like what I end up creating and kind of stepping up a level. Those two things. I also want to really accomplish at least getting like I would say either making new creative connections with people. I think that's one thing that I definitely yearn for. I genuinely love having a great conversation, love hearing about what someone else is interested in, what they love to do.
Yeah.
Um, I'm hoping to start officially building the DNA team. Those are definitely the goals that I have.
That's dope, man. One of the things that I'm gonna add into it, because obviously I'm working on the Chicano Park basketball courts.
Uh
Just
huh.
make it look cool. Like I really don't like the just the fence around like a basketball court. Um, and then like a venue space on it, and I'll have to show you some like edits.
Yeah.
But I also there was a point where I have some ties, man, that I was just kind of like drawing. So like I hope to get that out there,
Ooh,
man.
a tie would be sick.
I got some ties. Only thing that like, have you ever thought about like getting a patent like on some of your
Oh,
things
bro, this could be a topic for
for
off
another day?
camera,
Okay,
another day or off camera. But I recently, yeah, I've been in the works
okay.
behind the scenes. I won't say too much about it, but yeah, it's definitely in the
Cause I
works.
want to get that probably first before I drop something like that.
I got some pointers for
Cause I
you.
wanted to send that tie to like Mischief.
Oh,
Cause
okay,
they would
bro.
probably
Mischief does a lot of crazy shit.
they I love that they take
They
risks.
do, they do, they genuinely
Like
do.
I should have brought my red boots. Not gonna lie, I still got them.
I know you do.
So I wanted to send them my tie, but then I was thinking, because there's been those are the horror stories. You try to, maybe send it to like a company and they just like steal it, they just take it away. So I said, maybe before, let me get this like protected
Yeah,
and licensed, or whatever it is, and then like definitely like try to see who'd be down to like export it. So but anyways, yeah, that definitely would be like another topic, but yeah, so I'm not really too familiar with it. That's just kind of what I've been thinking about. But for me it was just the ties, like I'm not thinking of like putting out clothes or t-shirts or anything like that. you
well, you
know
could work with me. I'll help you put them out.
yeah, maybe maybe like sometime, but all right, yeah, right. So anyways, hopefully I probably get that in the process. um and then I also what else do I want to do before? Well, anyways, just finish my training, man,
Yes,
as
I'm
a
gonna hit you up about that
as a
because
train
I got a
operator.
project ready for
Yeah.
you as soon as you finish for that.
You know what? My director that I work with, her name is Tootie. She told me that she knows the CEO of MTS,
Really?
and she was telling me like, hey, once you finish, if you do, like, maybe we can set up a meeting and things like that. So definitely talk to me, and I'll like make sure to add that in there, because it looks like that CEO, she's really into just the fact that she works with Tootie, just the fact that Tootie was able to tell me that kind of gives me faith that she's like really about like community and like
Yeah.
I mean El Cajon Boulevard didn't have a rapid. So think about it. You see University, right? You know
Yeah,
University
yeah,
North
yeah.
Park. El Cajon Boulevard, not to talk smack about it, is not University. University is more popping, more
Yeah,
small businesses. There's more people than on El Cajon Boulevard because it's just a dope spot. They were able to design things though. I mean, anyways, El Cajon Boulevard, the businesses, it's there hasn't been a lot of remodelation there. So a lot of the things are still like looking old, looking faded, the storefronts.
yeah.
But we got the rapid bus line, not University, which was something that I was thinking like that's kind of interesting. There's more
CEO,
people
yeah.
down in University, but we got the rapid bus line, from to San Diego State. So, anyways, if Tootie had anything to do with that, and the CEO,
Shout out
help
Tootie.
that
Shout
get
out
two out,
Tootie.
then that's pretty cool, to have like have that done. So, because there's El Cajon Boulevard, University, and Adams Avenue, and it's like you probably could have made it work with any of those
Yeah.
three, but the fact that they decided to do that, so yeah, whenever if I ever have that meeting, bro, I definitely,
Bro,
would
ask.
inquire,
I would
bro,
love to know.
to definitely, hey, we're trying to do a shoot with the trolley.
Yeah, just ask them if the trolleys that they have in the yard are you like can be used for like rent. Like we can
Okay.
rent them out and just use them for like a few
Yeah, yeah,
hours.
yeah.
Not
And there's
use
some
them, but like you know what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like shoot in them. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Of
There you
course.
go.
Is there anything else that we missed?
No, bro. I think that's it. I mean, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's watching, everybody that has been with me since the get go, bro. That has supported me, even though I haven't posted in like 2 years. For the people that still show love, even though I haven't dropped anything, thank y'all so much. It's a big reason why I'm still here. So keep supporting me, and I promise you, it'll pay off.
And I want to also appreciate everyone that is watching this because you support Audrey, and or if you support me, that's also cool.
Yeah,
I
support my boy.
definitely
Please like, subscribe, comment, and follow for more.
I definitely appreciate it. And anyone that wants to come on, just like Audrey, and talk about their creative process, more than welcome to. I'm
For real,
I'm
please,
always
please,
interested.
please send my guy an inquiry. And also, if you're trying to connect creatively and you got some ideas you're trying to share with me or just even talk about, let me know. I'm ready for it.
I